As a magician, I can make a lot of things disappear.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Priority Holder, and today I'll be playing Mono Black Super Friends in the Timeless format. Now, sort of like the headliner for our Super Friends is Liliana the Veil, just super strong, really lean on her Edict ability just in Timeless to take care of stuff. Just a really good card, definitely running 4 of. And the other sort of headliner is Karn the Great Creator, also famously strong. His main thing is pulling artifacts from the sideboard into our hand, and so we have a mixture of Graveyard Hate, some removal, threats, and card advantage just to choose from for whatever this situation may call for. Now the other Planeswalkers are just 2-ofs because we do run in like the legend rule sometimes, and it mostly is up to your preference. You can interchange these for other ones, but these are just the ones I thought would be powerful. And yeah, so they're all mostly a mixture of card advantage, creature creation, or removal. Some technology I really love in Super Friends decks is Heart of Kiran, which you can crew by just removing a single loyalty counter from a planeswalker you control. So it's effectively like a 2-mana 4/4 flying vigilance, walls off delirium, channelers, and flip delver secrets, stuff like that. And yeah, just really found it really strong in Super Friends decks. And we also have Orcish Bowmasters, which needs no introduction. And packing it all, everything else is just a bunch of removal and, of course, dark rituals. So let's jump into some games. Sometimes you get beautiful hands like this where you just gotta go for it. What we see right here is a turn 1 Vraska Betrayal Sting. So, I mean, we didn't come here to not just slam Dark Rituals and Planeswalkers, so we're gonna fire off Dark Ritual number 1, noting the priority passes from the opponent, so we'll have to see what that's about. And we're gonna have to pay a little life, but it should be worth it to get Vraska online. We're going to see if we can rush to her ultimate right away. And opponent has a Dark Ritual in response. And Orcish Bowmasters, oh my goodness, that's horrible. And they even get it in response to her trigger, so oh my goodness. Yeah, we're not going to proliferate their army, but they're going to get to presume, yeah, so they're dinging Vraska. Now, interestingly, had they directed the initial point of damage at Vraska, they could have killed her with this attack. So that's a small misstep from the opponent, and Thoughtseize for good measure to bring us down to just lands. But we do rip a Liliana of the Veil. So I'm trying to think about my options here. Drawing the card to see what we get. Eating another Bowmaster's hit. This time Vraska is going to die really soon, so we did draw some action, but it's looking really grim. The opponent had the perfect answer to our little gambit right there with Vraska, and she bites the dust, and they pass the 3-mana open. Now, an extra Liliana of the Veil is pretty nice. Like, it doesn't seem profitable to like plus her right here, so we're just gonna start edicting them, grinding through their creatures. Yeah, Bowmasters gets sacrificed, and let's see what they have to follow up. Okay, Demolition Field. And then they channel Takenuma, and they grab a Shieldred, which from our hand, actually, Bowmasters might have been worse than Shieldred, so we're just going to slam Liliana the Veil. We're really grateful that Shieldred isn't in play yet, so you have a weird little audio glitch right there. I'm not sure what happened, but it comes back in a second. Yeah, so it's back. And Shieldred's Edict. And then they could... Oh, they have Dark Ritual for Shieldred anyway. So, just an amazing back and forth right here. Now we're going to fall to 11. And this was incredibly clutch right here. Because, we would have slammed Karn, they would have just attacked it and killed it. But Dark Ritual allows us to slam Karn, minus him, and pull out some sweet sideboard artifacts. And we are prepared for this because we have a Tithing Blade, which is an artifact edict. So we're just going to take care of Shoulder right away. So that Dark Ritual was like the absolute best draw. Maybe like another Liliana of the Veil would have been similarly. Oh hey, and they just passed doing nothing. So that's pretty great for us. We have options, like our lands are helping us a lot right here. Decide to just go ahead and minus Karn while he's alive. We've already seen like Bowmasters and Shieldred's Edicts and stuff. So question is, what do we get? Do we get the One Ring? Do we get Skysovereign? I opt for Skysovereign because we've seen so many creatures from them, and this could just... It's just a really strong closer. And the play pattern is that you plus Karn to turn Skysovereign into a creature, and it still has its like awesome abilities. Alright, so Demolition Field's going to destroy our creature land. Good move by the opponent, because that's another way we can like close the game. Alright, no follow-up. Liliana the Last Hope could be useful, so yeah, we're going to take up Karn on Skysovereign. And because it's, yeah, it loses a point of power because it's just checking its mana value right now. Trying to decide, checking out Mobilized District, because I have it in here because it gets a discount for Planeswalkers. Alright, so opponent has a go for the throat, and that's just real rough from the opponent. Go for the throat takes care of most things, but doesn't take care of Skysovereign. So they do get our land, but we get to slam Liliana with the Last Hope, and plus just for value. I'm not convinced Last Hope is that great in this deck, and maybe even this format, because Bowmaster sort of polices a lot of the X1s away. Alright, so Graveyard Trespasser. Now, it's important to not slam the land here. We need to keep it in hand so that Skysovereign can take it down with an attack. Because the Graveyard Trespasser has Ward, discard a card. So we can deal the 3 damage, we just need to keep that card in hand to cut through the ward. Alright, so Trespasser bites the dust. Opponent takes 5. And yeah, just checking our graveyard status right now. Tithing Blade is something to pay attention. So Invoke Displayer is pretty rough. It eats a Planeswalker and a creature and gets the opponent a little bit of action. Castle Locthwain is going to be huge right here just to try and help us find another closer. Takenuma is really, really good. It can get us like something back. I'm checking the sideboard here to see like if I wanted to grab something with Karn, and just sort of planning out how the mana for this turn is going to work. So end up deciding to channel Takenuma to get a Liliana of the Veil, and play our land, slam Liliana plus Liliana to eat their last card, and then use Karn's minus. Alright, so we take care of a Bowmaster, so that's incredible. That just would have been another really annoying threat. I've seen a lot of creatures from them, so grab Noxious Gearhulk. Like, another argument would have been for like the One Ring, and the opponent rips another Bowmaster, so bad for us, good for them. Karn bites the dust. And this has just been a crazy fight. The opponent's at 9, so like this isn't the juiciest target for Noxious Gearhulk, but it's a 5/4 menace, can close pretty quickly. And we're just not going to mess around. We're just going to eat the creature away because we don't want to plus and get rid of Lolth anyway. We want to play that. So opponent taps a swamp and then doesn't do anything, so uncertain what's going on over there. They changed their mind about something. So we're going to slam Lolth and make some spiders. We're trying to just close the game here.
My power is for annihilation.
And we're waiting to see if we can attack. So we're going to send Gearhulk in. Alright, opponent falls to 4. This is a clear no plus for Liliana. We just have some great action here. Our opponent goes Dark Ritual, so we have to see what their grand finale, and that's it. Nothing. So we win that one. And yeah, if you enjoy seeing grindy magic, please Dovin Architect of Law -1 the like button. Thank you. On to the next one. And yeah, we have a turn 2 Sorin with our current setup, so we'll have to see. Opponent fetches a swamp and hammers us with Thoughtseize. That's really annoying. Yeah, they're definitely going to take Sorin because that's like our only piece of action right now. That is pretty good. So the question is it worth getting a 1-turn head start by ritualing out a Liliana of the Veil? I decide it probably is. I mean, the opponent's packing Thoughtseize. Like, they know most of our hand, so they might not have like hit us with another Thoughtseize. Question is what to discard. Decide to discard Extinction Event. Like, we don't know enough about their deck, and we need the lands to play future stuff. And the opponent pitches a Bowmasters. Not a great sign for us, considering it's like a really strong card. Inquisition is going to nab our last spell. Stitcher Supplier. So usually Stitcher Supplier is indicative of a breach deck. Now we want to plus Liliana the Veil, so even though it sort of like feeds right into the game plan, we're just going to get rid of the Stitcher Supplier. Like, we're going to have to chew through it eventually, and this at least will allow us to like attack. Alright, so we're going to plus Liliana, and feeling pretty good. We pitch a Thoughtseize, which, good choice, not doing anything right now. Demonic Tutor. Now the question is, what are they getting? Like, they don't have much mana. Like, it could just be Demonic Tutor for like, I guess if it was a land they would have played it, so not really sure. Alright, and they pitch, oh, maybe that's what it was. They Demonic Tutored for Tendrils in anticipation of Liliana Plus. If so, that's a really good play by the opponent, because they're just setting themselves up if they draw a breach to maybe go off. Alright, so the question is how to proceed. And yeah, so I decide right here, you know, breach needs a certain amount of mana to work with, and that Liliana Edict is probably our best bet right here. Especially because we drew a new Liliana. That means we'll be able to plus and take another card from their hand. So we're feeling pretty good at this point. That's not the most impactful Liliana Edict. And there's a breach, so Heart of Kiran is doing some work right here with our Planeswalkers.
I really don't have time for you.
It is risky to crew it this way because it makes Liliana vulnerable to bolt. Alright, there's Fatal Push to eat Heart of Kiran, so unfortunate, but we gotta just try and close this game. Our opponent just plays a land. Dark Ritual is rough, so we're just gonna plus Liliana and pitch the Ritual. It's not doing anything for us.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Phyrexian Tower will help us cast one of our 4-drop Planeswalkers, so it's not the worst pitching Dark Ritual. So opponent's just ripping lands right now. We're just closing them slowly but surely. So this is gonna be pretty nice. We'll attack them for 2. Be able to use Phyrexian Tower to cast Sorin the Mirthless, sacrificing our Orc army. Alright, so speed up the clock a tiny bit with the Vampire, and working towards another Liliana ultimate. So
Drop it.
opponent fetches and shocks in the land, but I don't know, just accident, and the opponent rips an Underworld Breach, which is just a nightmare scenario. So I'm looking through and scanning for a Dark Ritual, because that's what unlocks the whole thing, and they do not have a Dark Ritual in their graveyard. So they escape the Stitcher Supplier, and they mill a Dark Ritual. So this is a time jump right here. I'd already seen a few loops of Dark Ritual, and they have the Diabolic Intent to keep the graveyard full, and we already know they have... Anyway, they have the win right here. There's no way they don't win with the combination of cards. So that was just an agonizing loss. It felt like we really had it. So help me feel better and tell me in the comments what's a horrifying loss that you've encountered recently. And we're on to the next one. We've got to shake those off and move on. I'm going to slam Heart of Kiran here because we have multiple 3-drop Planeswalkers that can get it going and just cause the opponent a lot of problems. Looking like Domain over there. Yeah, there's a breakout. And they find Territorial Kavu, and they already have Domain. That is really rough. A hasty Territorial Kavu on turn 2 is not what you typically like to see. Dark Ritual is what you like to see, though. That turns our hand from like Liliana Edict to pass to Dark Ritual, Liliana and Edict, and then Bowmasters.
You're telling me what you know. Sacrifices must be made.
And yeah, I'm just gonna play the Bowmasters here. I guess it could have held it up. And I think I might have thought Heart of Kiran had a crew 2 cost or something. That's why I ran it. But anyway, it has a crew 3 cost. My opponent plays Wild Nacatl. And they're going to bolt Liliana of the Veil, so she bites the dust.
Fine. I know when I'm not wanted.
Alright, well, we can't really attack through Nacatl with our ground stuff, so we're just going to play Liliana on the Last Hope.
Nobody knows Dominaria.
Uptick her on Nacatl, and then pull off a loyalty counter to crew Heart of Kiran. Just start chipping in for some damage. Once again, it does make Last Hope vulnerable to bolt, so you gotta be aware when you're pulling off loyalty counters left and right. It can play defense though, so it's gonna hold off to the Nacatls, barring like a leyline binding. So let's see what they do. Interestingly, they actually grab the Planeswalker instead of Heart of Kiran. Even though like it doesn't seem like that threatening a Planeswalker to them, unless they have like Ragavans stranded in their hand or something. But this is a pretty clear Extinction Event turn right here. They have all odd creatures, we have all evens. So we're just going to nab them. And the opponent has been sort of mana screwed this game, but they have a nice slow curve, so they've been able to keep the threats rolling. Bowmasters is tough. They're going to annihilate our Bowmasters. The question is what to do now. Definitely going to play Liliana. Really don't want to plus her because
enough with the mysteries. I've come for answers.
we don't want to plus her because we'd like to use that card we have in hand, presumably. But the opponent is falling pretty low, so we're going to pull off a loyalty counter to attack the Heart of Kiran. And decide just to pass. Liliana of the Veil is a skill testing Planeswalker. Sometimes it's correct to just not do anything, which is sort of counterintuitive for a lot of situations. They just attack it with one creature. Just gonna trade with our army and pass. And then we happen to rip another Extinction Event, which conveniently both their creatures are now even, so we're just gonna whammy them with those. And we've already seen that this domain build has Bowmasters, so it is risky going down to 1 loyalty, but once again, they're at 6. We gotta try and close the game. The question is, do we uptick Liliana? And once again, I don't think we do with that March in hand. It just seems too valuable. Alright, so breakout from the opponent. Finding a Territorial Kavu. We're gonna attack Liliana, which means that we won't be able to crew Heart of Kiran, presumably. And
with friends.
Hive of the Eye Tyrant. So if that was just an untapped land, we would have won with the Mobilized District crashing in. But that is at least a redundant creature land and one that has Menace. Alright, so they're crashing in. I imagine they're looking for like Leyline Binding, which presumably they didn't find. And they're going to bolt us. We're just going to fire off the removal spell. It makes you wonder if they should have kept the bolt for our creature land attack right now. But I guess no matter what, they were dead because we could crew Heart of Kiran in response. Or we could have played around a bolt. We couldn't have crewed it in response. So, but anyway, we get this win and move on to the next one. This hand, pretty reasonable. Got some Planeswalkers we're hoping to cast. Got some lands. Ragavan is tough. Real tough. So, I'm going to play Hive. And we're going to pass. Now, we can fire off March of Wretched Sorrow with its pitch cost if we need to. The opponent plays Swift Spear and into Mishra's Bauble. It's going to get a Swift Spear pump. Now, here's the question. Like, Ragavan is definitely better and more scary. But Orcish Bowmasters is such a clean answer to Ragavan that I decide it's actually better to take care of Swift Spear right here. So we go ahead and pitch our most expensive Planeswalker. Yeah, its opponent had another Bauble. So that was like a pretty clean interaction for us. So we are giving them one free shot with Ragavan, which is risky. But we luck out. They just exile land. They do get a treasure and light up the stage, which is pretty strong. And they pass to us. We draw another Bowmasters. Now, Bowmasters is just super strong. Alright, they're going to crack Mishra's Bauble. So we're going to take down Ragavan. And we're feeling pretty dang good right now. Opponent missed a land drop last turn. We're going to get another Bowmasters trigger right here. Grow the Orc Army. Yeah, the opponent's already seen enough. Sometimes that's all you need, and that was like a real clean game right there. So move on to the next one. So the question is, do we turn one Liliana the Last Hope? And you can see obviously I'm doing that. She doesn't really do a lot, so the hope is that you can rush to the ultimate. Or is it better to wait turn 2 for like a Karn or a Sorin? But then you run the risk of them hammering you with Thoughtseize and taking Dark Ritual. So went with what I thought was the safer play, but not quite as exciting, because we're just trying to rush her to the ultimate.
When I get my answers.
See if the opponent does. A couple tap lands so far. Another Liliana the Last Hope is really rough. If it was Liliana the Veil, that'd been amazing right there. It could have just played it Liliana the Veil, started plussing, had some more threats in play. So we'll have to see how this works. And show and tell. Worse than that, we don't get to put anything in play because it was from a pre-Planeswalker time period. I wish it just said permanent into play. Alright, so opponent slams and Atraxa, gets some stuff. Thought seizes us. That's pretty tough. Oh, and the hesitation that right there is that we were actually super close to killing Atraxa with our March. We were actually like 1 damage short with our the mana available plus the pitch card. So pretty unfortunate. The opponent is just going off with like a million spells though. Now I'm surprised like after Mastermind's acquisition didn't see like a win right there. There are some show and tell decks that have a whole package in the sideboard for that. So pretty unfortunate. We're moving to triple speed here because I hang around for a bit and you can just see how agonizing it is. Yeah, we jump ahead right here and we lose. So that was tough. But we have an exciting hand this time. Triple Dark Ritual plus Karn the Great Creator. Now here's the question though. How far do we go? Because we can Karn minus and still have a Dark Ritual left over to cast something. And decide, honestly the One Ring would be pretty great. We are wasting 1 mana. Like we could play one of our cheaper artifacts when it goes turn 1 Ragavan. By holding back the Dark Ritual, we're able to do a turn 2 One Ring right here, which is just really powerful. Now I'm going to make a different kind of choice here. I'm actually going to plus on the One Ring. It means we won't be able to draw cards right away, but we'll have an indestructible creature. And I figure versus red, like we don't want Ragavan hitting us and getting them advantage. Our opponent gets a green source and a Llanowar Elves. Alright, so our ring protection wears off. Now we're going to use the ring. Extinction Event is going to be pretty nice. Problem is we don't know how far we are from casting it. That is one argument to putting like artifact lands in your Karn Wishboard, which I don't have in this configuration, but I have used in others. So it's not just to get Tithing Blade. We're just going to clear out all their creatures. It's going to choke their mana, and Ragavan is a threat all on its own. So it's a Brotherhood's End and kills Karn. Alright, so Ring's going to ding us. We're going to activate it. We're at a very healthy life total, plus we have March Wretched Sorrow to like rebuy some life should we need it. Opponent dashes out of Ragavan. Thankfully we have a Fatal Push. Let's see if they have a follow-up, and they don't have anything. There we go. There's a Liliana the Veil. Let's see if we can get some more information. And we find a Vraska Betrayal's Sting. Decide it's pretty good to go Heart of Kiran into Liliana the Veil. The question is, what do we discard? Seems like we can discard the land since we can use Phyrexian mana for Vraska. The opponent pitches a Bonehorde Dracosaur. Very glad to see that not hit the battlefield. The opponent slams a Blood Moon, which fortunately is not good against us, but it does disable our creature land. Alright, so the ring gets us. Alright, so I'm figuring out what to do here. And yeah, lead with the ring. We have a million things we can do, and then something very unfortunate happens. My turn gets skipped. My 2-year-old walked up and slapped the computer right there, and my turn got skipped. Now, fortunately, we're in a pretty commanding position, but the opponent slams the Llanowar Elves into Stone Rain. It becomes clear now that we're playing against Ponza. Like, they have Blood Moons, Stone Rains, Ramp, Threats. Like I said, we were able to get a pretty commanding position so that a turn skip at that point in time was not the end of the world. It would have been nice to already have Vraska in play, proliferating stuff, but I think we'll be able to handle it from here. Dark Ritual, full retail Vraska, just to get her to her ultimate soon. Plus Liliana, pitch a tap land, and we have Bowmasters at the ready. We get their last card. Heart of Kiran is going to be able to attack soon. We could proliferate the ring, but that's just going to deal us more damage. Like, we don't need to get too greedy. And we're going to activate the ring. And we have like a million cards in hand. We're going to discard anyway, so we'll play a Bowmasters. And it doesn't seem like there's much the opponent could have, and yeah, they pack it in. I've always enjoyed Super Friends strategies. I tried them in all sorts of colors and combinations. I play them in Commander. Like, it's just super fun, and I think it's reasonably viable in Timeless, though maybe we need to pack some Thought Seizes to help it show up. Like the combo matchup, like Show and Tell, is pretty tough, especially since we can't drop a Planeswalker to play off of Show and Tell. That makes it even worse. But you could see how we could beat up on aggro and mid-range strategies with what we have going on here. So I think there's some viability here, but yeah, that's the deck. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see even more nonsense, please consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, thank you for your support. Your engagement with the channel helps me know what the people want. Thank you.